Ambassador Kethvar of the Zephyrian Council trembled as the massive transport ship descended through the atmosphere of Terra Colony 7. His 4 eyes darted nervously between the viewports, searching the dense jungle canopy below for signs of the legendary horrors that had claimed 3 expeditions from his species. "Relax, Ambassador," said Captain Sarah Chen, her voice carrying that peculiar human warmth that still unsettled him. "The Shadow Maws won't bother us here." Shadow Maws, the very name made Kethvar's chitinous plates rattle. Creatures of living, darkness that could phase through solid matter, armed with claws that could slice through quantum steel. His people's greatest warriors had fled screaming from a single juvenile specimen. "How can you be so calm?" Kethvar clicked in the human language he'd painstakingly learned. "These beasts have terrorized this sector for millennia. Even the Apex Confederation abandoned their mining operations here." Captain Chen smiled. That strange human expression that showed teeth, yet somehow conveyed friendship rather than threat. "Because they're not monsters, Ambassador. They're just misunderstood." The ship touched down in a clearing that shouldn't have existed. The jungle should have reclaimed any open space within days, yet here was a perfectly maintained landing pad. As they disembarked, Kethvar noticed something that made his blood freeze. Shadows moved wrong here, flowing like liquid mercury between the trees. "Sarah!" A voice called from the jungle's edge. A young human woman emerged, her clothes practical and worn, her hair tied back in a simple ponytail. What made Kethvar's legs nearly buckle was what followed her. A shadow maw, full-grown, easily 12 feet tall, its form shifting between solid matter and living darkness. Its 6 burning eyes fixed on the group, and Kethvar prepared to die. Instead, the creature sat like a domesticated pet. "Ambassador Kethvar, meet Dr. Elena Vasquez, our xenobiologist," Captain Chen said casually. "And this is Umbra." The shadow maw, Umbra, tilted its massive head and made a sound Kethvar had never heard before. A soft, almost musical warble. Dr. Vasquez reached up and scratched behind what might have been its ear, if interdimensional predators had ears. "How?" Kethvar whispered. "Patience," Dr. Vasquez replied, "and the willingness to listen. You see, shadow maws aren't mindless killers. They're highly intelligent, social creatures with complex emotional lives. Your expeditions failed because they approached with weapons and fear." She gestured to Umbra, who obediently lowered his head so she could reach him better. "They can sense intent, read the electromagnetic patterns of brain activity. When someone approaches with hostile thoughts or terror, they respond defensively. But when you come with genuine curiosity and respect," as if to demonstrate, Umbra suddenly materialized fully, his shadow form becoming solid obsidian scales that gleamed in the filtered sunlight. He leaned down until his massive head was level with Kethvar, those 6 eyes studying the ambassador with obvious intelligence. Kethvar fought every instinct screaming at him to run. Instead, he slowly raised a trembling hand. Umbra studied it for a moment, then gently pressed his snout against the ambassador's palm. The contact was surprisingly warm. "Impossible," Kethvar breathed. "That's what the hegemony said about our first contact with Earth's apex predators too, Captain," Chen said. "But humans have been forming bonds with dangerous creatures for thousands of years. Bears, wolves, great whites, even our own domestic cats were once wild predators." Dr. Vasquez led them deeper into the settlement, and Kethvar's worldview continued to crumble. Shadow maws moved freely among the humans, some carrying supplies, others apparently just seeking companionship. Children played games with young shadow maws, their laughter echoing through the trees. "The key is understanding what they need," Dr. Vasquez explained. "Shadow maws are pack hunters, but they're also empathic. They thrive on emotional connections. In the wild, their packs form complex social bonds that your species' technology couldn't detect." They passed a construction site where adult shadow maws were helping humans build structures, their ability to phase through matter, making them perfect for installing internal supports. The creatures worked with obvious pride and purpose. But, how did you know? Kethvar asked. How did humans succeed where every other species failed? Captain Chen exchanged glances with Dr. Vasquez. Because we've been exactly where they are, she said quietly. Humans were apex predators once too. We know what it's like to be feared, to be misunderstood, to have others assume the worst about us because of our capabilities. When the Galactic Council first encountered humans, Dr. Vasquez added, they called us monsters too. Said we were too violent, too unpredictable to join civilized society. But a few species gave us a chance. They looked past the weapons and the warrior culture, and saw what we could become. Kethvar watched a human child hug a shadow maw pup, both of them napping peacefully in a patch of sunlight. So you extended the same courtesy to them? Exactly. We saw ourselves in them. Powerful, protective, loyal to their pack. All they needed was someone willing to become part of that pack. As the day progressed, Kethvar observed something remarkable. The shadow maws weren't just tamed, they were partners. They anticipated human needs, communicated through subtle gestures and electromagnetic pulses, even showed individual personalities. Some were playful, others serious. A few were obvious intellectuals who seemed to enjoy solving complex problems. At sunset, they gathered in the settlement's center for what Dr. Vasquez called the evening song. The shadow maws formed a circle around the humans and began to harmonize, their voices creating an otherworldly melody that seemed to resonate in Kethvar's very bones. The humans joined in, their voices blending with the creatures' calls. For the first time in his long life, Kethvar understood why the galaxy feared and respected humans in equal measure. It wasn't their technology or their military might. It was their unique ability to see past surface appearances and find the soul beneath. As they prepared to leave, Umbra approached Kethvar one final time. The great creature's form shimmered, becoming translucent, and Kethvar could swear he felt something brush against his mind. A sense of farewell, of gratitude, of hope. Will you tell the council what you've seen here? Captain Chen asked. Kethvar looked back at the settlement where humans and shadow maws were beginning their evening routines together, and nodded. I will tell them that humans don't tame monsters. They make friends with misunderstood souls.